have a bigger chat without the 75 person limit, that we can now bring new people in, onboard them to Bad Take, onboard them to
Mm.
Clones, onboard them to whatever we're working on. And now we don't have this small 75 person chat with no functionality, no replies, no voice. So we'll do spaces at 6 every all night at night, but Discord's a little bit more intimate. Like you can have a quick conversation like we just had, right? Like that was what we were talking about earlier. We were just bullshitting and like talking about some shit, and then we started talking dot swoosh, and you're like, okay, this deserves a space because it needs to be more public. Is what I assumed you were feeling. So it's just different utilities, bro. Like um, at 6, we're still gonna like we definitely still run spaces, but like last night, me and Jerry and Jace were in there until about like 3 a.m. just kind of checking, like doing some like market like analysis on clones and shit, and just watching. And Jace started making some Azuki moves and figured out a pretty dope move on Azuki's. So they just got
Nice.
different utilities for it, bro. Like in there, we could share all these links
Yeah, it's good
and
to be able to stream, be able to put the screen up and see exactly what people are, what they doing.
yeah, they're just for different uses, bro. I think the spaces are super important. And then when people go, oh, I fuck with these spaces, like, yo, how do I connect with you guys? It's like, here, hop in Discord with us,
Yeah,
get really engaged in the community, right? Because adding someone to a group chat and them getting to actually feel your guys' vibe and get a feeling for like what you're actually about, it makes them go, okay, I chose the right community. Like I chose clones, I chose to hang with the Bad Take homies. Like
right.
it solidifies that like I fuck with these people type vibe. And without the Discord, we're full capacity at our group chat. Like we're fucked. So
Man,
I
that's
think it's
crazy.
perfect.
No, it is good. I appreciate the flow too. It feels nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've been in there a lot, bro. Like we've been doing what you just hopped in to do, to chat in Discord. We've been doing that for like 2 days now.
That's crazy.
Yo, so who's gonna educate me on dot swoosh? Because I'm an NFT motherfucker. I don't read shit. I just listen to people talk.
Nah, for sure. Any questions you got, bro? I'm here. What's up? What's on your mind? What do you have on the plate?
I
Yo,
literally don't know anything about dot swoosh. I just know there's like all the clones are rocking a dot swoosh next to their names. So I'm
Uh-huh.
just like, what is dot swoosh?
So what is dot swoosh period?
Yep.
Jeez, you are a clone, bro. You are an NFT motherfucker. That's crazy. Um, all right, so well, I guess this is a good question because it gives enough clarity. I think a lot of people feel like they know, but they really have no idea. So I appreciate you asking that, SBJ. Let's get into it. So dot swoosh basically is Nike's official project in the Web3 sector, right? They clarify it as digital collectibles. These are not NFTs. Please do not get that mistaken. But you have an experience that's similar to how NFTs used to work. You know what I mean? In different NFT projects that we all have been a part of. So the inception of Dot Swoosh, they came out with access codes that gave you the opportunity to mint the first digital collectible, which is basically your Dot Swoosh pass, where you could select the logo and select a custom name, custom username that you will use for the Dot Swoosh platform. Those originally came out, I think it was November. They first started putting them out. Um, and now it's April, and they have up to 330,000 users within the ecosystem. And today was their first actual release. And what it was is a set of posters where you had one out of four posters that you will receive. And these posters act as a mint pass towards the actual release on May 10th, where they'll have a set of sneaker shoe boxes that you can choose from. One sneaker shoebox is a ode to the vintage slash original Air Force Ones from the time period of 1982 to 2006. The second shoebox is an ode to the future. It's presenting for the futuristic Air Force Ones from 2007 to now. And with these shoeboxes, you can either choose to open them and receive the items inside or keep them sealed forever. Same thing with the posters. If you receive the poster today, you don't have to burn it for that necessary mint on the 10th. You can keep it as a poster forever. But it's basically their play to jump into Web3 and the utilization of Nike within Web3. So the same way that Artifact has their Nike Air Force Ones, which will be for Artifact utilized either as a digital and or a physical, meaning that you can take the digital NFT, burn it for the actual physical. Nike hasn't made, or Dot Swoosh hasn't made any official announcements as if that's what they will be doing with their project, but we can only assume. So that's basically the gist of it, what's happened thus far. They're opening up their project to release these posters today, which allow you to have a mint pass for the actual release on May 10th to be able to mint one of these two boxes, and or you could just purchase the boxes for $19.82 on mint day. So it's up to you on how you want to do it.
So the way Nike's doing it, it's like Artifact for the NFT motherfuckers and the dot swoosh for the normies. Is that how they're targeting it?
Honestly, from how I'm seeing it, it's Nike, since we know Artifact has been acquired by Nike in December 2021. Nike is using Dot Swoosh as more of an onboarding for the masses. They don't have a Discord. They don't necessarily have. They're not really pushing this towards the degens. They want to push this information towards everyone who has not built up a relationship with acquiring their knowledge, knowing how to navigate through NFTs, Web3 in this sector as how it has been thus far. So this is for the people who have no idea what the hell this sector is about, what NFTs are about, but they were genuinely curious. This is the onboarding for that. Artifact would be like the advanced version for NFTs, because as you know, as a clone, even coming into the Artifacts ecosystem, being someone who's seasoned in other NFTs, it's still something that you can get into and be highly confused about and having to learn how to play catch up. So it looks like Nike didn't want to just throw people into such a complex ecosystem when it came to Artifact. They're giving them an opportunity to onboard via their own platform and learn things from the bottom up and build up to speed. And then, if they so choose, jump into Artifact because that's more of the advanced version of what everyone is used to. So, I mean, keep going, bro. Whatever. What else you got? What else you got? Shoot it. Shoot it out. Shoot it. Pause.
Now that was pretty good. Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean I saw that thing and I wasn't completely sure, and I didn't want to like spend hours reading
Yeah.
into it.
No, I feel you.
That's pretty good.
No, for sure, for sure. So I know a lot of people. Well, we was in the Discord, like Compound was talking about. We was on the Discord chat speaking about it, and I know Discord is a whole different world, right? Like it's a different vibe entirely. And I know some people, they were saying some people felt some type of way about how clones weren't necessarily given full access to everything that Dot Swoosh is doing or has done thus far. And I've also read some different posts on the timeline where people are saying, a lot of, I can't necessarily just classify it as FUD, but just a lot of comments of people saying Artifacts going to zero. Nike's coming in, they're taking over. Artifacts not being mentioned of anything, because this a lot of those people who say those things don't necessarily fully understand what the ecosystem is as a clone with Artifact and with the Nike Virtual Studios, what they're looking to do. So that was another reason why I wanted to spark up this space, is just so we can have this dialogue and speak about it and just get a better understanding from both sides. So just to throw it out there, like I said, we know that Artifact essentially is Nike due to the acquisition, right? But it's its own separate project, its own separate play, which will cross pollinate, when it makes sense. So, for instance, it seems like it makes sense to have a clone in a future video game partnership with, let's just throw out something, say like a Fortnite, right? You got a clone running through Fortnite because we know we can do that now with the Unreal Engine. And I'm sure that they're utilizing that for a reason, right? 1 and 1 equals 2. So you can put the pieces together and see where it's going. So let's say our clone is in Fortnite and your clone is in Fortnite and we have the inventory system that Artifact is creating. This is all hypothetical stuff that I'm throwing out, right? So don't quote me on this. But let's say we have the inventory system up. You're changing the way that your clone looks, the gear that it has on. It's wearing its season 1 Murakami drip varsity jacket. It's wearing its Murakami DNA pants and socks. But you don't want them to wear his Murakami DNA Air Force Ones because you don't want to get them dirty in the Fortnite deserts or something like that. But you can swap it out with your Our Force One digital collectible shoes that you receive from Dot Swoosh. Go ahead and do so. Inventory, add it to your clone, play it that way, right? Or vice versa. So that's where I see this cross-pollination going in the future. And being able to utilize Nike's digital IPs as digital collectibles to integrate onto your avatar and whatever other cross platform that you're utilizing. So it wasn't created, Nike Virtual System Studios wasn't created to take over or replace Artifact or CloneX. It was created to work with in conjunction to Artifact and CloneX. So the people who are out there spitting out the FUD or the disagreements or the misunderstandings, understand that it wasn't meant to be something where Artifact was just going to carry the torch for Nike in the Web3 sector. It's good to have tiers like this because that way you don't have so much intimidating information coming in all at once if you want to be a part of something, right? We all had the play school, my first basketball hoop, right? Imagine trying to get out on the court and play with your older sister or older brother, and they dunking all on you on your 5-foot court. You need a smaller basketball hoop to shoot at from time to time in order to get your confidence up, to get your jumper up, to get your skills up. And that's exactly what Dot Swoosh is doing here in conjunction with Artifact. Trying to run into the Artifact ecosystem for a lot of people who have been vets is still highly intimidating. So if you've never touched a digital collectible before this date, it will make your head spin off. So just keep that in mind and don't necessarily make it about a competition between Artifact and Dot Swoosh. They are a part of the same family, but just categorize them as first cousins. You know what I mean? And we'll just see each other at the family union at the barbecue. You feel me? SBJ was good.
Yo, so based on what Nike has announced so far, that do we know where the stuff like the collectibles from Dot Swoosh, like where that's gonna be, I guess, utilized or represented? Like, I mean, here, like on Twitter and stuff, we can still use our PFPs, and like, people can customize those files in Blender or whatever software they use. But like, how does right now, is it just a collectible staying in an app?
As of right now, yes, that's as much information as we have. One thing I can say that I have noticed is that Dot Swoosh takes a lot of cues from what have Artifact has already done. So the way that Artifact has moved in the past, being very mystical about the rollouts and playing things very close to chess. Dot Swoosh is doing the same thing. So we've only tapped into so much information thus far. Like before, like a week ago, we didn't even know anything about this poster release. So I'm sure they will be unrolling more information as time goes on and as we hit each checkpoint. But at this point, we only have the information that we received thus far, and we have a lot of speculation, like we usually do here in this community. So, but like I said, 1 and 1 equals 2. We can kind of see what's happening when you look at the pairing of one project and where it's going and how it's executing. You can almost put the pieces together for the next. right? Up to a certain extent, because we know what happens when we put too much hopium into a situation and then it crashes and burns. But you can still just put in the pieces in the blocks where you see the opening and where it fits. And everything that's happening on the digital side of things seem like it fits with what NBS is doing, what Dot Switch is doing at this point thus far.
If the shoe fits.
You feel me? Perfect. That's it right there. If the shoe fits, exactly. I'm gonna steal that too, bro. I'm out here swiping all good types of quotes. That's nice. I like that one. Ant Ben, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Just chilling today, man. Yeah, no, it's interesting because I went to the Nike Virtual Studios event in Chicago, specifically to ask all these questions about like value propositions for clone holders and like what it was all about, right? So like I was firsthand. I spoke to um, the three panelists after the event, and I asked questions like I was a kid sitting in the front of the class asking all the questions. Like nobody in there owned the clone except for me, so I was just like, yo, I'm gonna ask all the questions because the fam on Twitter needs to know. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, no, they made it very clear. Like the artifact is a test lab, right? They're the experiment. They're the scientists experimenting and um, Nike Virtual Studios was born from that, right? And they learn from Artifact. Like they're taking it much slower, and it is specifically dedicated to onboarding people who it's not just educational, but like not everybody can afford to spend even now, right? At 2.5 ETH floor or whatever, like $6,000 for some people is a ton of cash,
It's a
and
fact.
not everybody can use that money to spend it on a fucking clone that is a speculative asset at the end of the day, right? Like call it what it is. That's what it is, because the average person can't afford it. That's why the Nike Virtual Studios assets are $20 or $50, right? And they're not using the bad words like NFT or crypto. They're saying digital collectibles, right? And they're they're making it so that you can buy with a credit card or just use your debit card, whatever, so that people can get used to it, right? It's absolutely. It was made very clear by the head of tokenomics, which I was speaking to myself. This is an onboarding operation, right? We're trying to educate people and teach people why this tech um, is so useful and why Nike spent so much money on not just buying Artifact but creating Nike Virtual Studios, which was launched at the end of 21, right when Artifact the CloneX mint happened. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to come up and say like, I went in there not with like FUD mentality, but I was over there like, yo, I got all these assets from Artifact. Like, are you guys gonna fucking dump my bags, or is this like, are the visions aligned, or like what's going on, right? Because we have to ask those questions, right? Like, not that the floor always matters, but like these are investments for people, and then people can build businesses off of them. But it is essentially an investment, right? Um, and over time we'd like to see them appreciate. And so it was just that, and they made it very clear because I went in there like fucking cloned out. You know what I mean? And they reassured me like, yo, we're definitely the visions are aligned. We just got to get people to understand why this is so dope, and ultimately at some point, right? Like Artifact is the Grail. We've been fucking preaching this shit forever, right? Like Dre,
It's
I
a
know
fact.
we've talked about it on here a million fucking times, but it's like for the people who don't understand, like just wait till they figure it out and they realize, oh shit, I can play. I was just showing a buddy of mine the other day. He's like, well, are you still into NFTs and crypto and all this shit? And I'm like, dude, I'm into this shit forever. Like it's changed everything. And he's like, well, why? And I just showed him like, I saw somebody playing GTA 5 with a Murakami shirt on, and he's like a former game tester for Midway, and somebody's playing GTA 5 with like a Murakami T-shirt and the Alien Air Force Ones, and I said, this is why, and boom, it just clicked for him. He was like, I get it now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like people have to fucking catch up, and it's gonna take, you know, it's gonna take, especially in a bear market where like everybody's fucking bags are down and like the amount of FUD is insane. Everybody's down, but like to onboard people right now, it's like $20 asset. It's a Nike collectible. You don't call it an NFT. It's a digital collectible. Like
Yeah.
it's just more like it feels warm and cozy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Fucking NFTs got we PR. Yo, we need some new PR, man. This shit is bad. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I just kind of wanted to like um, support what you were saying. It's like all that shit, whether you heard it from the horse's mouth or not, like I did, and
Right.
and that's exactly what it is. Like it's exactly that. So like eventually people are gonna catch up. It's gonna take time, but this is vision alignment with Artifact, and Artifact is the test lab, right? Like Nike Lab, ACG, like that's the high end
That's a
stuff, and
fact.
Artifact is even next level than that, you know.
That's a fact.
So
That's a great.
just wanted to support your theories because I did talk to the guys and I was in there fucking going nuts on some clone shit.
No, I feel you, and I appreciate you. I was doing the same thing, bro. It was in there. It was a couple of us in there with the Artifact hoodie at the Bait LA shop when they came through for the information, and I was standing up asking questions as well, right? Because I wanted to know, right? Up until that point, everything was shrouded in mystery, and I think that's the disconnect here too, as well. And we can speak about that right now. Is us as clones, when we got into CloneX, or I'll just speak from my perspective. When I got into CloneX, I didn't know anything about Nike because they didn't have the announcement of they have been acquired as of yet. So I got into CloneX for completely different reasons, right? The Takashi Murakami collab, the artwork, um, the provenance that Artifact had up until that moment, right? The community behind it, I was rocking with all of that. So when Nike came through with it, I'm like, oh, bro, this is it for me. Like, so when everyone asked what CloneX was about up until that certain point, I would say the same thing. This is Nike's Web3 play into the metaverse. I used to say it all the time. But what we learned once Dot Swoosh was created was that was true, but not necessarily as true as I thought it would be. And I think that's still a misunderstanding that a lot of people still hold to this day. They still feel like this should be Nike's Web3 play into the metaverse, but it's not per se, right? Like I said, in conjunction, it is. But like you said, and Ben, it's a buildup. Everything is being constructed carefully and precisely. For analogy reasons, it's the same situation as when Iron Man came out. Um, the Marvel Cinematic Universe wasn't a thing yet, right? They just had Iron Man, but then when that joint popped off, everybody saw like, yo, this could be something different. And they had to build up the storyline. They had to introduce certain characters. They had to introduce certain environments, certain plots in order to build up the in-game portion of the storyline. And without those intricacies that was added to each movie, without those characters that were introduced in every storyline, it couldn't have been as epic of a conclusion of the story as it was. This is the same situation that's happening right now. They're building the storyline. They're introducing the characters. They're introducing the plot lines. They're giving people more familiarity with different perspectives to gain more understanding. It's all about education. And that's what the buildup will be. We haven't made it to our end game yet. And a lot of people who are tied into Artifact and clones are looking for the end game right now. Like, no, I'm in the end game. I know what's supposed to happen, right? And it's the same situation, using the same analogy. If you grew up reading those Marvel comic books, you knew what was going to happen in the storyline because you were familiar with it. And that's where we are as clones with Artifact. We read the comic books. We've been in the Web3 sector for quite some time. We've understand these rodeos. We had the ups and the downs. We've gotten rugged before from other projects. We learned how to execute good trades and understanding how to navigate through this ecosystem. there's a lot of people out there who haven't read these comics, so they don't know the storyline. And that's what Dot Swoosh is for, giving people the breakdown if they don't know the story, so they can be familiar, so they can walk through, get their feet wet. They're dipping their toes in with a $19.82 purchase price for their first digital collectible instead of throwing 10K at a PFP and hoping something work out, right? And even
And it's hook, line, and sinker with that. Hook, line, and sinker. $20. Oh, it's my first one. What else can I get?
right,
And it's over with.
right,
And now people spending rent on fucking clones.
110%, right? Spending.
What an analogy, man. How did Ant-Man get rugged for me between the last time he spoke and now? I don't
Oh yeah, I
understand.
don't know, but he definitely just dropped a diamond right there too. But let me finish this, and then I'm gonna go to
Ah,
Prez. With this, I can understand us having that buildup of anticipation of energy looking to execute because we read the comic book, right? So we waiting for us to have our time to see what we know is supposed to happen. And that's what clones are now. It's like when we go into the Discord and they're upset about things, it's like, man, this is some bullshit. It's supposed to be us. We supposed to have access. We supposed to be the first ones to get the white list. We supposed to be the ones to get the posters. Not them, but it's not necessarily for that. And this isn't the time for that right now. Who's to say that that won't happen in the future where there are some specific drops that are exclusive to this community? I can almost guarantee that, right? Because it makes perfect sense to have that. But right now isn't the time. You can't just necessarily throw in Spider-Man on Iron Man 1 out of nowhere just because you know they're supposed to link up for Endgame, right? Let it build out. You know, have the patience to ride through, sit back and chill. This is something I say all the time, man. I tell everybody when they go to bad take, when we was going through all the FUD after Monolith 2, sit back and chill. 3 words, sit back and chill. We gonna get there. Thanos is coming, and we gonna whoop him when he get there. It's gonna be fun. Just chill. So
it
that's
might
where we
take
are.
some tries, but we'll still whoop them. We
Yeah,
get it.
you know what I mean? We might have to go back in time, get some pin particles, you know what I mean? Work it out, speak to Jarvis, whatever we got to do. But we going to work it out and it's going to happen and it's going to be dope when it happens. Just enjoy the ride, sit back and chill. So I can understand people having that, yo, I need it now. Yeah, I get it. I kind of want it right now too. But like anything else in life, when you don't savor the moment and you want to force for something to happen, you end up missing out on some of the best parts of the journey in the first place. So with that, I'm gonna go to Prez. We got my man up here speaking. I'll never get my guy to speak. I'll never get to hear his voice. So Prez, what's good, man? I'm happy to speak to you.
Hey, what's good? Just wanted to address one thing I see a lot of people kind of upset about lately, and it's like Nike or Dot Swish keeping this at arm's length. And I think like people gotta understand like not just clones, but just NFT culture in general. It's like degen, it's entitled. I don't want to say toxic necessarily, but it's a certain kind of vibe. And I think we have a habit of like crowding out a room. So if they kind of just like open the doors to like NFT, like it's not just not calling it NFTs, right? Because that's one wise move they're making by avoiding the NFT label, but by kind of like not embracing the existing degen culture. I think they're going to give their own audience like more of an opportunity to have like a warm experience kind of onboarding to all this. Because if they just kind of gave us like the red carpet and we get VIP access and then we just like drown out the room, we drown out whatever communities they're trying to form. And then you also bring a lot, like I said, the degen, the entitled, like toxic kind of baggage sometimes. Let alone if you start walking in there and you're flexing on the regular dot swoosh holder and you're thinking you got a bit of an ego because you're holding clones or whatever, just like I can understand why they're being a little strategic here by kind of keeping this at arm's length and not trying to just blow up the spot with like the existing Web3 crowd, right? Like, they're trying to do their own thing. I think we just got to give them a little bit of room and respect to kind of operate in. Like, let them cultivate their audience, get whatever plan. They probably have a marketplace coming, right? So let them kind of like do that without overwhelming the existing sneakers audience that they're trying to like court and bring online. And then when the time is right, the marketplace is right, the customers are in a good place, that's when you start like slipping them the artifact and the ability to maybe look at the clone catalog and, maybe make some more moves there. But for the time being, like, just respect the fact that, if they're keeping this at arm's length, they're keeping you in the dark, it's probably for a good strategic
That's a
reason.
fact. That's a fact. And we, as clones, a part of the artifact ecosystem, we are um like, yo, we need that. We supposed to have this. I dropped the rent on this one. I'm supposed to have this one, right? Like we do give off those entitled vibes because, and I think a lot of people do it without even necessarily knowing that we do it. It's almost feeling like we deserve this, right? But at the same time, with any other release that we've been a part of within this artifact ecosystem, we understand that it comes with timing, right? Like we felt like we deserved those Murakami Air Force Ones. Guess what? They're coming, right? We felt like we deserved this season one drip. Guess what is coming? We feel like we deserve Animus. Guess what is coming? All with due time. So just sit back and chill. It's coming, and our time will be there. But like Prez just said, for them onboarding this idea of digital collectibles to the masses, you can't come through with that type of intimidation with people just trying to come through and shit on you. Like, and that's what a lot of people in the clone community will be a part of. Like, yo, check me out. I got these. Yo, you ain't got this though. You ain't, yo, I see what you doing over there, but you ain't doing nothing like this, bro. Good luck. You know what I mean?
But do you really think it's? I mean, do you really think it's not gonna happen? I had like number 366 flex on me at the swoosh event. He was like, "Yeah, I'm dot swoosh number 366." I'll never forget his number now. You know what I'm saying?
No,
They know what's up. They know what's up. They
but
didn't
it's
want us in there with that flex, and I get that. I respect that because God forbid.
It's all totally randomized, bro.
it's part of the culture though. That honestly, and outside of just NFTs, period, it's part of
Oh,
the
bro, we're
culture
talking
that
about
we are
we're talking
in.
about sneakerheads. We're talking about hypebeast.
Yes,
Of course
yes,
he was. Of course he was gonna flex that, bro.
yes.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just part of it all, right? The provenance that you hold from having those Supreme Dunks that you had since 2001, or them Supreme Blazers in the red that ain't nobody touching when you walk through the room. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you
I
Michael
think
Jackson
that's
and,
maybe
and
why.
Billie Jean. You know what I mean? Like it's
That,
part of the culture. So yes, it's going to happen. But while you're integrating people who have never been a part of anything, that's like you going up to the little kid at school. He got his Jordans on that his mom got from Foot Locker, and you coming in with your playoff 12s that you got from the first release OG orange box joints, and you like, man, them Jordans ain't
He
nothing,
got six
cuz you
rings.
get out of here, man.
He got the six
Right? You
rings.
know
bro,
what I'm
he
saying?
He
came
got the
he came right
Spizikes.
up to me and stepped on my shits immediately, bro. He saw me with the hoodie on. He was like, I know what that is. But I'm number 366, cuz what's up?
What's up? You ain't got right, but it's of course it's bound to happen. It's inevitable within the culture, right? Especially anything sneakerheads, sneaker connoisseurs. It's just part of the culture. It's the reason why people pay the amount that they pay for to have a sneaker that no one else has. Hence, these Murakami DNAs being 4.5 ETH or 10 racks, right? And it's multiple people that I know that got them, and I'm actually gunning for a pair myself. It's just part of the culture, but we have to ease into that. You got to crawl before you can walk. You know what I'm saying? Jack, what's good, bro?
Yo, what up? Great discussion. Awesome space. Thanks for hosting. I just wanted to build on what Prez was saying, and it's like, like, and kind of combine it in HODL. We all have been here for so long that we can be, what's the word for people that you look up to? Role models. We can be role models for the people that are coming into this space as Nike continues to onboard 300,000 plus people into Web3. And it's like, this is Nike, like real Nike supporting the movement that Artifact inspired, that we all bought into, that inspired all of us too. And it's like, as you bring in 300,000 more people, you hook them with a $19.82 digital collectible, they're gonna be like, yo, this is sick. I can put this in my game. I got the 3D file. Yo, what can I do with it? And then people will be like, hey, check these clones out. You can equip them to your clone. We got inventory. We got season one. We got all this crazy stuff. And if you want to play this avatar in those games to show that you actually own this stuff, like, it's all connected. Like, this is Nike again building out the vision that we all saw when we decided to participate in the Artifact ecosystem. So, like, my ask to the entire community is that we be role models and we help to, you know, make newcomers, make the babies, let's say, who are coming into this space feel welcome, you know, like be the cool kids in the playground that ask everyone to come play with them, because in a digital space, there's no max size on our team, everyone. Like Web3, there's only like 20, maybe 30,000 like truly active people on Web3 Twitter. And like there's 300,000 plus dot swoosh IDs that they're bringing in, with 106,000 Our Force One digital collectible drops, and the drop is currently ongoing right now. So like this is day one where people are going to come into this ecosystem. So like we just got to remember, Artifact is the test lab, like Aunt Ben's saying, and like everything they've put out, it's inspired so many of us. Nike's also learning from that in ways that, you know, doesn't show up on the timeline. And they're using that information and they're learning, and then they're rolling it out to the masses in a controlled, simple, secure, very, very accessible way, and in the biggest way that a conglomerate like Nike can. And it's like, I get that it's not, you know, truly worldwide, but like, hey, it's a great step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. And I am so incredibly thrilled that we are all here this early to participate in this. And, you know, we are like actually the tip of the spear. So, you know, thank you. And like, let's like, you know, stay strong, be humble with it kind of thing. Cause we don't need to be that 366 or whatever the guy's dot swoosh number is. Like, you don't need to say like, yo, I'm CloneX 2182 or whatever. It's just like, yeah, dude, I'm Jack. Like, what's up? Yeah, I know Web3 a little bit. What do you got? What do you want to know? You know, like we can do that. Like they're gonna ask easy things. These are custodial wallets. Like you, it's so much easier. So we got this, fam. Is all I got.
110%. What's even wild about that statement is I'm sure out of the 330,000 people who signed up for Dot Swoosh, maybe 10% of them know what a custodial wallet is in the first place. They're just here to be a part of the experience. They're here to learn, right? And this is, I think, one of the most genius ways to onboard the masses the way that they have. Because other than this, it's independent learning. You got to jump into this whitewater rapid of a sector and pick up things as you go. You're trying to catch your breath, people rugging you, you getting DMs talking about, yo, that's a nice clone. You want to sell it, and they trying to steal it. And then you got people in your Discord trying to pop off and send you fake links so they can drain your what. Like it's so much that's happening at once. So for them to have this easygoing onboarding system, and the website looks amazing, the digital collectibles that they put up looks great. Everything is free flowing. There's a lot of information there. Like it's just an overall beautiful experience that a lot of us didn't have when we were getting into this sector. I think that just showcases the amount of growth that we have here right now in the present and what's coming forth in the future. And the fact that it's legendary Nike who's doing this, and I said this many a times before in Bad Take, we're going to see so many other businesses and corporations jump in and try to mimic the same systems that they are implementing right here, right now. So we are basically being a part of the changing of the guards. This is the historic moment where things are beginning to shift, and we are on the forefront of it. 110%. Like
Yo, you're making me feel like Game of Thrones
this
right
is it.
now. Like
This is
that's the
this is it,
vibes.
man. And like the homie Baron like to say all the time, this is only the tip. Pause.
I just about to
Full
say this is
pause.
just the beginning.
Pregnant pause.
We're so way back
Yo,
that we're like in his vision of whenever he mumbles and he's stuck into that vision.
This is what we on. So, and keep this in mind too, as well, right? Like part of what they said was you can utilize these digital sneakers in the partnering games. We all know, we played 2K. You bought some Nikes in 2K. Imagine having a pair of Nikes that you have helped design for a playable character, your avatar in NBA 2K, that you can now possibly sell on secondary markets, or possibly even create a physical match of and have those royalties coming to you. Like the possibilities for this future that we are now building in the present is endless. So I say that to say, yes, I get it, clones, that you upset. Some people are upset. We need it now. It's my money and I want it now. I know y'all seen those commercials. Like you just gotta chill out and wait on it. You can get what you want right now, but it won't be as sweet as if you let that thing cook and get it in the future. I'm gonna jump
Yo,
to
I
the
remember.
homie Final Ryan. He had his hand up. I don't want his fingers to go blue. Final Ryan, what's good, man?
Yo, what's up, y'all? Thanks for hosting this space, Jay Compound. Really appreciate it. Really loving the energy and enthusiasm here. And just had a couple of thoughts, right? First of all, Jack, I don't even know how I'm supposed to follow that up. Every time this guy is on a space for the community that swoosh stuff, he gets so hype, and I love it though, because I mean, like he said, for better or worse, because we're still here, whether we like it or not, we kind of do represent the space, right? Like I think and I'm not saying that because I'm telling you what to do, but you can take that information and see how you can contribute, right? That's the beauty of Web3. There's no one way to do it. There's no one way to kind of get the word out, and you see that directly from Nike, right? I mean, Dre and Compound, like Dichotomy came on Bad Take last night, right? And one of the things he spoke at length on, and what he was proud of, and what makes me really encouraged is they have a really good mix of people there. A lot of them like full on degens. They've been in it. I mean, you've seen them. Like they got clones. They got the on chain monkeys. I mean, look, Luch even has a loser club now. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, by his own admission, when they came to him and tried to explain like what Nike Virtual Studios was, like he had no idea what Web3 is. But I mean, a lot of us who are very familiar with Nike and sneakers, he's kind of like the face of sneakers live, right? So we've kind of seen his journey along the way too, right? Like, and it's kind of amazing to see how, one of the first things when I had a chance to talk to some of the team, I was like, even if you can't get into like details, like what's the elevator pitch, right? Like if you're walking around Nike campus, 99% of those people have no idea what they're trying to build, right? And the fact that they are able to kind of get that going at Nike, I mean that in and itself is a feat, right? I mean Nike is definitely putting considerable resources towards this, right? This is not a small undertaking to mint 330,000 dot swoosh usernames on Polygon, right? Like, I mean, that in itself is a huge feat. And, I just wanted to touch real quickly on this kind of this interesting discourse I've seen online, that Nike is somehow pushing Artifact off to the side and wanting it to die, or like there's this weird zero sum game where it can only be either Artifact or dot swoosh, and it's kind of like, bro, sis, do you not understand how big Nike is? Like, okay, I was gonna post this tweet, but basically I was gonna just search for some random Nike you can get from Famous Footwear, and yo, props to Famous Footwear. If that's what you like, I'll love to you. Famous Footwear, wear random Monarch, whatever, and a Louis Vuitton Air Force One made in Italy at the Louis Vuitton factories. Guess what, y'all? They're both Nike. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people really underestimate the breadth of Nike's reach. And lastly, like Dre, you're saying, it's really, I think, about like this. It's cross cultural exchange of information, right? Like we're going to be learning, like a lot of Web3 natives are going to be learning from the sneakerheads, and vice versa, right? Like you said, Dre, like you went to the Bait LA story. I'm sure a lot of those people who showed up, they're into the culture 100%, and they can bring that same energy to Web3, and that's what I'm excited about. Look, y'all, like way back in the day, right? And I'm gonna sound like real boomer right now, but the story goes, right? Jeff Staple had to go to Japan, right? He was asked by a magazine to write an article about the growing sneaker culture there. And he literally had to go to the sneaker stores and ask them, yo, who should I talk to? Who should I go to? Eventually, one of the people that he was introduced to was Hiroshi Fujiwara, right? I mean, like, someone like, and long story short, decades later, these are like icons in our industry. But Nike's so big that a lot of people, even back then, if you were into sneakers, you didn't even understand what Code JP was, right? Like, I mean, do people remember HTM? Do people remember, Alpha Project? I mean, I can go on and be a nerd about this, but that's my point. So I'm seeing all these threads and, oh, Nike doesn't know what they're doing. Like, you don't even know what's going on at Nike right now, right? To make these like really blanket statements about what their decisions are about Artifact and Dot Swoosh. But that's why I think we should take it upon ourselves to educate them, right? Like, sure, they can be competitive, we can be competitive, but it's because we care so much. But at the end of the day, if they learn a little bit more about like what we know that Nike is capable of, then I think we all win. So yeah, just wanted to say that and share that. Thanks everyone, y'all. Really appreciate you.
Oh, we appreciate you, Ryan, man. I can nerd out on them joints. You talking about Alpha Project, all type. Boy, don't do that. We can go there if you want to go there. But that's a fact. And those are all great, valid points as well, right? Like, the one thing that I've noticed being a part of this platform, this project, this ecosystem is this instant gratification that comes with people who have been diving into Web3 over these last couple of years. They want it right now. It's my money and I want it now. Like, they want it. You got to give it to me right now. Nike, you're messing up because you're not giving it to me right now. Like, but you have no idea what they planning on doing. And this is a long-term, long game that we playing. We playing forever, right? We're not playing the white hot space. We playing forever ball. And it takes time to develop. It takes effort. It's this chess, not checkers. But a lot of the people, going back to that sense of entitlement, and I want it now, they feel like they need it right here, right now. And I can almost guarantee if they came out with an execution to give you that right now satisfaction, it will never end. Because it's like, okay, we got that yesterday and that was cool, but what we got today, I need it now. That's how it works. So again, this space, the sneaker soapbox specifically, is about being able to spread that information so people can get a better understanding. And that goes for whatever it is that we're doing within the clone ecosystem at all times, but also celebrating what's happening here with Dot Swoosh and the release of the first poster, Our Force One's release that's leading up to the May 10th mint, the shoe boxes and everything that they're doing, because we have to have the awareness. And this is the formula that I give for every single bad take that I speak on about this subject. We have to have the awareness. That's imperative. And we only have, 30,000 strong that's already embedded into this ecosystem of Web3 and even within this project of Artifact and CloneX. We have to build the awareness. We have to have more people out there who can see how dope things are so they will want to be a part of it themselves and then be able to jump into this as well, because there's a lot of people out there who are going to miss out on all of this. They have no idea what's even happening right here today. And that's what we're here for, just to be able to spread that information, build that awareness, get the information going along so we can get the growth going. Jace, what's crack-a-lacking, my guy?
I had a question for Prez and for Final Ryan. It's got me concerned. So I'm wondering if what they're saying is that my mid-20s nephew, who ain't never left the basement, who's gotten everything, has mom deliver everything to him, you're telling me that he doesn't know more than the Nike strategists and their consultants and everybody else? Is that what you're telling me now?
I don't believe it.
Not for a second.
Right? Like, I don't know, man. No, man, for real, though. Like, I got a text saying, oh, man, fade and shade and all this other stuff. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, man, these kids. Like, I'm all right being old, man. Because now, Dre, I'm not as young as you. I don't say sit back and chill in 3 words. I use 4 words for that. But that's because I'm super old. But, dude, I'm so pumped on how they're rolling this out. And I love exactly to Jack's point and to Prez's point. We are an overwhelming clique of nutcases, right? We suck all the oxygen out of every room. And so I love that they're letting them breathe, that they're letting them get going, get hyped on their poster. what does relic and epic mean? What's this? And which shoes are the best ones hanging on the line? Whereas I don't even have an email. And I'm kind of pumped on that because, bro, I want these other people to get pumped and to know that, hey, man, I got something that one of those clone guys didn't even get, right? That's kind of cool to me. Like, I want them to feel that, what I love feeling, right? I go mint something just to feel something. We all keep saying stuff like that. I love that they're feeling that. I love that they're getting that. And that is going to introduce them into this whole system. And I'm gonna do what you say, Dre. I'm gonna sit back and chill, but I am gonna go mint. I'm gonna go mint a clone, but I'm gonna sit back and chill while I wait for that to happen. I had to flex a little bit.
Yo, did you get that vial?
Shut up, Compound. I don't know
I
what you're
just
talking about. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Don't
It's a
pocket watch
wrap.
me,
It's a
bro.
wrap. Here come the front
Yeah.
runners. Here they come.
Shout out Dot Swoosh for sending me my poster just now and my email. Finally, like I could have at least gotten it first this morning, but you know, I'll take it at 1 p.m.
At least you're not gonna have to refresh your freaking dot swoosh all day now and checking your wallet, because that's what I'm doing. I'm like, yo, I didn't get it yet. No email. Still have this pass.
I've been hunting for this thing I saw earlier. It basically was on the swoosh site, I think. It said, what is utility? And they had a shot of like all the different utilities, attending events, 3D files. Did anyone else see that or screenshot that? Do we know where that is? I can't find it. It's driving me nuts.
Usable
Huddle.
in an upcoming game. That was the part that stuck out to
Major
me.
deal.
I think we're all getting 3D files. The reason I was looking for this is because when you mentioned earlier, Dre, like if we might be getting, I'm pretty sure every one of their like things will be 3D files. Maybe not the posters, but the shoes definitely.
No, for sure. I mean, again, it's all speculative that we're speaking right now, right? Because we don't necessarily know. But
I saw it. I seen it. I'm so
So if you go on to Dot Swoosh right now, if you go and log into your Dot Swoosh account, right, and then you actually click on your badge or whatever, you can go down, right, and there's three options. It says stories, details, utilities. Right, when you click on the utility thing, it says utility badges, and then under the badges it says product, experiences, mint pass, gaming, 3D files. So if you're looking for that's where it is. It's like you just have to.
Thank you. That was definitely it. 100%.
Johnny, what's good? You already got the hand down. What's cracking like it, my friend?
Yeah, no, it was. I think what a lot of us are forgetting too, like Drake, because you always say awareness, and this is why I'm super excited knowing that we're early as sneakerheads, right? It's like I'm so jacked about wanting to get one of these emails, right? And I'm a sneaker guy. You know, you guys know it's been very difficult for me to get sneakers, but you know, I'm in it. I know about it. I'm going to be excited if I get one. If not, I'll try to get one on secondary. But I think what's so cool and what is underestimated right now is knowing that Nike is literally one of the most powerful marketing companies in the entire world. And they are slowly, strategically not marketing this to a very large audience right now because they are in beta, right? And so, like, again, just like Artifact was in beta and we were the kind of experimentees, I guess, within the greater ecosystem, right, to figure out the best way to, you know, get into this. Whatever. So it's like over time, once they figure this whole thing out, it's like, yeah, they're going to market it, right? They're going to be like, all right, now this is kind of like the new wave. We've proven it, and just greater and greater and greater, and the wave will come, and then everybody will hop on, right? This is just like the new wave of doing business, right? It's just slow abating, and then they themselves will take their hundreds of millions of dollars and market it to the globe, and then everyone will kind of hop on, right? And so, like, being even within the first million Dot Swoosh accounts, you're really early, right? And so we just have to think about how many people have a Nike account globally, how many people buy this, and just look at marketing campaigns that Nike do, right? They are running campaign after campaign after campaign for every product that they do. And so it's really just strategically marketing it and strategically, you know, just doing it. And they will do it once everything's figured out and they've got all the bugs figured out. And it's coming. We're just very fortunate to be early.
Very early. And that's one thing that I think eludes a lot of the people who are part of this community. And even, I say this all the time, even as clones, there are a lot of people in here who don't necessarily understand how sneaker culture even works. They got into the project not necessarily just for the Nike aspect of it, but for the technology, the tokenomics, the gamification side of things. And that's what they're here for. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's something that they have to understand when they say merging worlds. This is true to life, merging worlds. And this is part of the sneaker culture, having this understanding of having to sit back and wait or see how things are executed. It's not the up in front of your face instant gratification that the Web3 sector has been thus far. It's a totally different game, a totally different climate. But once you do wait on it, once you can understand it, it's highly enjoyable as well. So just keep that in mind as we navigate through this together as one. I'm gonna go with Prez. What's good, bro?
Just quickly, I wanted to touch on something Jack was saying. And, we're kind of like veterans of this game right now. And Jack kind of described it as like, the big brothers, basically. We should be kind of setting maybe a better example than we currently are. Because, like right now, there's just a lot of belly aching. I know these are like, tough times, sentiment sucks, but it's also not a good look, right? And then when people flood the dot swoosh feed, and they're like, yo, what about Artifact? What, yo, you forget about these shoes? Like you see all these like shit posts. It's just a bad look. I'm not surprised. Like you're not going to win Nike back over to, if this is the kind of behavior we put on. So there's something to be said about, acting like the cooler, bigger brother. Because right now we're barely out of the starting gate as a brand, and so it's like there's nothing wrong with Nike giving Artifact room to kind of bootstrap the brand, the culture. You kind of want to make this thing cool and kind of underground and like a subculture of its own. And everybody's kind of begging that we just take the Nike mantle away from them. Like, why can't we just kind of like build out our own thing that is grassroots and kind of underground and play it cool, right? Because right now we ain't playing it cool. A lot of people are belly aching and just like upset. And I get it. Some of it's for good reason, but again, it's not a good look. That's all I
A lot
want
of
to say.
people don't know how to play it cool, right? Like it's not in them. You know what I'm saying? The same tactics that you see them utilizing on the timeline is the same tactics they utilize when they trying to speak to someone that they're interested in. Yo, what's up? What's up, baby? What's up? What you and me? We going what's up? What we going? Oh, you a lame. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to talk down upon somebody to try to get your attention. It don't work like that, man. I know Jace, he said he uses 4 words, but still, we're gonna go back to the PG version. Sit back and chill. It's all good. It'll be all good. Um, Let me go to the man secretly. He had his hand up first, and then we can bounce around. What's good, bro?
By a second, I had my hand first. But what's good, guys? I think this space, dude, is incredible because I would never thought I was gonna be a sneakerhead, and you guys opened my eyes. And honestly, I have no idea what the sneaker culture is about, but I know since I'm an artifact, I'm going down the rabbit hole with all of you guys. And one thing I wanted to say also, my cousin has been collecting, I think, Steve Staples' shoe from the beginning, and like he told me, he's like, oh, whenever they start making shoes for NFTs or something like that, I'll get in. So like what Dot Swoosh is doing, it makes total sense for me. And Nike is a corporation; they're not gonna just give Artifact everything. That's my idea. They still need to make money. But I'm excited. I think Artifact is gonna get the coolest shoes. Like they said, we're luxury, and we're gonna kill it. We're gonna flex on everybody because we have first dibs on stuff.
No, for sure. At the same time, I'm gonna say this: like, it's different because it doesn't necessarily come across as like a lot of people are in your boat. A lot of people in the same shoes as you, pun intended, right? They have no idea. They weren't here for the shoes. They're not here for the sneaker culture. They're just along for the ride now. And this is what comes along with that is understanding that it's a process to everything, right? Let's sit back and think about the fundamentals of Dot Swoosh. It was created by Ron Ferris, who was the creator of the sneakers app. I'm about to say Snikey sneakers app, right? And they wanted it to be reminiscent of that same theology when they first came up with Dot Swoosh, where they wanted sneakers app to be something that people could be a part of and gain access and feel like they were a part of communities and having experiences for exclusive drops. They wanted it to be something that was more rooted in fairness. And we all see what that turned into throughout those years, right? So they purposely initiated this community feel, this onboarding the way that they did at Dot Swoosh to be like this, to necessarily go out to the masses, the people who are overlooked usually, so they can be included first. They purposely engineered the rollout to be this way. And then for a lot of us clone holders to come in screaming and kicking and screaming about us not having exclusive rights and not getting this and not getting that, kind of plays into that whole stereotype that they wanted to avoid in the first place. So like Prez said, man, if we could just be more thoughtful about the process, we will not be overlooked. It just makes sense. Artifact is Nike, right? How can they overlook themselves? It just doesn't make sense. But it has to be executed in a timely manner in which it totally makes sense. So
That's a
so keep
fact.
that in mind. Like, we're not going to get skipped. They're not just going to leave and forget about us. We still going to be here, but it's going to make sense, and it's going to be done in a timely manner, in a timely fashion. I'm gonna go to
Bro, they knew from the beginning, by the way, they knew from the beginning that they were going to drop us the CIRLs from the second they gave us the monolith boxes. It's not like they didn't know. You know, they just had to keep it hush hush. And it was huge, you know? Like, I tell my friends about it, and I'm like, oh, I wish I got it, you know? Like, they're all, like, telling me, like, yo, you didn't get that shoe? That's the most craziest shoe. And half the world doesn't even know about it yet. So whenever that
that's a
comes
fact.
out, everybody's gonna be like, yo, what the heck is
That's a
Artifact,
fact.
dude?
It's a lot of Web 2 people, man. A lot of Web 2 sneakerheads that I look and I push information to every single time there's an update that has to do with anything streetwear, sneakers, wearables, etc. I push all of that information, streamline it to them. And it's still hard for them to grasp. They want to be a part of it. They see it and they love it. They enjoy it, but they just don't know how to jump into it. And it's highly intimidating.
One thing that I would love to see is, because I would have copped the CIRLs if they allowed me to buy with a credit card,
Right.
you know? And I love that they do everything with ETH, but I didn't have my ETH ready, and I wasn't, like, gonna go buy ETH. I'd rather go buy it with a credit card, you know? Like, pay cash, and then I'd be so happy, you know? Like, I don't want to always be running for ETH.
Right.
Some of us aren't, you know? Or so I feel like that would be a great, like, advancement for, like, the next
No,
drop, you know?
no,
Like,
that's a fact, and that's just one thing that we've seen with NVS and what they're doing too, right? Like, because even with this release that they have on the 10th, it's going to be, you can use your credit card, whatever payment you need to use. 1982, you can jump in and grab that. So that's going to be a great onboarding part of it as well. Let me jump to Balrog because he had his hand up first, and then we're going to go to Crypto Commandments. Balrog was good.
Yo, what's up,
What's
everybody? Can you guys
Yeah,
hear
man, I
me?
want to apologize for kicking you off stage so many times. I thought you was a bot. The last time that we had a bot come up here, they did some nasty things, and I didn't want to have to deal with that.
Oh no, you're good. I actually wanted to share with you guys an article I seen on the New York Post about cryptocurrency and NFTs. It's by a guy named Daniel Seklife. You guys heard of him?
I have not.
All right. It says right here in this article, it says, you know what NFTs are for? They're for the hipstery kind of people pretending to be part of something, dipping their toes into the tech scene a little bit. Not too much, though. That takes work. Pretentiously standing around art galleries, holding their wine glasses.
I mean, I can agree with that. So, no. I mean, everybody's gonna have an opinion.
Can we get the clap? Can somebody hit the clap real fast?
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Oh yeah. It says right here. It says that the Jews were slaves to the Egyptians, so I guess white people weren't that
No,
bad.
see, I knew my man was gonna come up here with some bullshit in the first place. Moving on to Crypto Commandments. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? Couldn't keep it clean. It's all good though.
I knew homie was gonna come here with some bullshit. I could smell bullshit a mile away, man. I knew it. So
It's all good. I'm here to sprinkle a little love on you guys. So I love what you guys are doing. I love what you're doing. I just wanted to provide like a couple points of reference, especially for the artifact community. Patience is needed because you guys are like the first pair of Jordans to come out for the crypto in the crypto sector, right? And think about this for all my sneakerheads. How many years before, or how many years was it before Jordan brand came out after the first pair of Air Jordans debuted? And how much are those Air Jordans worth now? So it's just perspective and patience. I know a lot of people in this community don't want to hear it because that's not the common practice, but it will pay off in the end. Like, and as a sneakerhead, you know it. Another thing another analogy I want to use is it's beautiful to see Nike use the sneaker community to spread knowledge about crypto because the sneaker community is so tolerant within reason. So it provides folks a way to express themselves artistically and really push it to an extreme, but the community kind of reins in the folks who want to take it to like the asshole level. So it's a perfect it's a perfect avenue to drive information about crypto. So I wanted to again applaud you for what you're doing and say keep it going.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you jumping up here and say that. And you're absolutely correct. This is something that I understand, right? Like I've been a part of this sneaker community for quite some time. Like I always say, like to the point where I'm no longer a sneaker head. I am now a sneaker connoisseur. Like we buy shoes with our pinkies up type shit. And this is what it's about. Once you understand how the culture works, you understand how the community works. And once you understand how community works, you can create any idea, have it flowing through multiple people, creating and building off of that to make it something that people can only imagine. And the fact that we have the opportunity to be a part of these communities at this time, during this moment of time, is next level amazing because we are seeing the shift happen in real time. Like my son is 3 years old. When by the time he becomes my age, he's going to be dealing with the conclusion of what is being built right here, right now. The implementation, it won't be nothing for him to pick out his day-to-day clothing with like an inventory type of app situation, right? Like who knows? He might not even be leaving the house. He might have his avatar stacked up with the latest and greatest, and he's sitting in the house in some tidy whities in a beater or whatever. But you know what I mean? It's a next level thing happening here that we are building out, and we see it happen in real time. Um, yeah, man, it's just an exciting time, and I would just implore the people of this community to understand or approach this situation that we are dealing or actually experiencing at this moment in time with more grace and thoughtfulness, and just enjoy the moment as it comes, as it develops, because that's the true way to live life and truly enjoy it. Eddie, Gangland, what's good, bro?
What is up, homie? I'm so glad I found this room. It was exactly what I was looking for, to be honest with you. So I've been the guy sweeping the Takashi Kicks floor the past 2 or 3 days because I love what you're fucking saying, my dude, because it's totally on point. Um, I got tons of homies, sneakerhead, crazy homies in the Web2 world who swear the NFTs are a scam. And no matter how hard I try to explain to them that this is like a fucking grail of a shoe dropping, I cannot get them to purchase crypto to buy these shoes. And I'm shooting myself in the foot because I still want 10 more of these kicks, but the beauty behind this is we are controlling the production of these shoes. If people don't realize this yet, then you're sleeping really, really hard. You pick your sizes. We're going to control the sizes they're produced. No, but there's not going to be any retail offering on these shoes. When fucking Drake and Kim Kardashian and Justin Bieber are photographed in their kicks in December, there will be no retail offering past that point. We will be the secondary market. We will be the resale shops. This I don't want to overhype everyone again, but like this is the fucking grail of Nike dropping this year. And if people aren't on that subject, you're totally off base. I've got 8 kicks so far, 8 of the Takashi drips. That's in the past 3 days or so, and I'm planning on getting 10 more, homie. I think these are being slept on hard, and I love what you said because it's true. The sneakerheads that have been around for a while, I mean, there's patience that comes to this, right? You have to understand these shoes are going to be produced based on our sizes, based on whatever we select. They need months to do this, and then we're going to receive it in December when everybody else needs to have this shoe, and everybody else refused to buy this shoe because they would not touch NFTs. and we're gonna be, I mean, the gatekeepers. So, I mean, I'm hyped to be here. I'm gonna follow y'all around because I don't know a lot of CloneX people. I was late to the CloneX train. I'll be totally honest. I'm a full-time Web3 creator. But yeah, homie, I caught on to this alpha a few days ago, and I've got my 8 artifacts, and I'm planning to get a ton more, and I'm happy to
That's
be
what's
here.
up, man. We happy to you here as well, bro. Come through. We have a space that we run every night called Bad Take. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have conversations like this and about many other things across the board when it has to do with the sector Web3 NFTs. But I definitely get up there and talk my shit when it comes to this sneaker thing. So yeah, man. Any questions that you may have, any concerns? Like you said, you were late to the clone thing. You late, but you right back, baby, because you're extra early right now. So come through, grab one of those things if you choose to, because they're in a great price point right now. Yeah, man. Never too late. Never too late at all. But we definitely appreciate you coming up and speaking on this thing.
Hey, Eddie. It's opportunity. I'm going to show the Discord too. We have a Discord, man, and we connect in there. We share all these spaces that we do. We got a live chat and voice in there. So if you want to connect with our community, Bad Take, the clone community, and just kind of everybody out here involved with us in our community, then the link's at the top. So come on in, man, and we'll make you feel welcome, bro.
110%. You are more than welcome. Slide through. Who? Press, what's good?
I just wanted to touch on something that Eddie got into right now. And this is something that's like, I think, the most overlooked utility or feature with CloneX right now. It is the fact that we now play like a really unique role in like the distribution chain or like the supply chain of sorts, right? Like clones kind of seed, especially with season one. Season one's a really good example for this. Clones, seeded the supply of the shoes. And a lot of the shoes had like a max supply of like 20 or 40K units, but they only put out like 1,000, 1,500. So like, in a few years, if these are in fact collectible, people are going to look back and be like, oh man, only 1,500 of these were like minted. They had opportunity to mint so many more. And it'll be the same thing like in future generations of these drops. Like, the supply, it's not like Artifact calls the supply at 20K and kind of rams it down our throat. It's like, whatever we think is hot and you kind of want to subscribe to this season, that's what gets minted. That kind of determines the supply. So we're like I think he said, used the term gatekeeper. And I think it's a kind of good way to describe it. Play this really unique role within seeding the supply. And so it's like this gateway. It's a gateway to the shoes, and it's kind of like one that kind of operates seemingly in perpetuity. So like every cycle, you get kind of exclusive access to this. And like a lot of clones, they get it twisted. And I understand right now it's still early. You got to believe in the vision, but people feel like, they're just kind of shaking this down for a lot of money. These shoes are super expensive. I can't afford to keep buying these, but if you kind of believe in like the longer vision, if there's enough demand starting to come in for these things, like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 units is not a lot. If you have like 100,000 hungry buyers for 20,000 kicks, even if you're not really minting this season's AF1s, somebody else is still going to take them off your hand for hopefully a lot more money. And, like if we had that demand, it would be more in focus. But right now, people don't see that. It was the same thing with Monolith 2 and the Lace engine. Like I understand that it didn't go over the way people expected. They wanted maybe a free pair of shoes. Now, that might not be realistic, but if there was enough demand for crypto kicks, maybe next gen crypto kicks, is enough demand. Okay, your Lace engine is still going to be worth a stack because it guarantees the next guy an allocation. So it's not always, it's not always a wash, but you got to believe in the vision and you got to see the long-term game here where, we got like a unique allocation, a unique way to kind of supply these things to the market. So I think once people start to put that in focus, that's when the clones are really going to be, gold, grail.
That's a fact. And that's, again, that goes down to understanding how the sneaker culture works, right? And I think that's one thing that a lot of people miss out on because they haven't necessarily been a part of it up to this point. But, like anything else, they'll pick it up, they'll learn, and they'll see. But it's something to be excited about, period. That's why we circle back and go to this Our Force One drop. This is something to be extremely enthusiastic about because we can understand the dynamics of having the correlation of our community integrated with this community, help bring on more people and understanding the awareness behind it, what they're actually getting into, what this is giving them access to, why they should be happy about it. You know what I mean? It's just the awareness behind everything of understanding what's going on right here in the present moment. So yeah, man, we start talking about these Murakami DNAs or this season one Air Force One drops that Artifact is doing on the 24th of May, bro. We don't really get into it because it's next level things happening here. So if you guys could do me a favor, feed the algorithm, retweet the space, leave a comment, drop some hearts, all of the above. Put that gif of the Bob Burgers girl twerking in that joint if you want to. That's always a favorite. Yeah, man. I'm gonna go to Johnny. What's good, Johnny?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, this space is so reminiscent of sneaker culture, right? In so many different parallels, and we've been kind of seeing it and saying it for so long. And like one of the things in sneaker culture is like sneakerheads are very opinionated and they complain a lot. And like 80% of the shit is just talking shit about brands, right? Because they either didn't get access to it or like, oh, it's my judgment that this shoe should have looked like this, or it should have been this colorway, or it should have done this, right? So if sneakerheads in general are just very judgmental. They're very judgmental on the release process, how they run out, right? It's like, because if you think about it in current culture, you can't get sneakers very easily, right? You have a couple of avenues to get it, and if you don't, then you're paying a reseller who bought it or backdoored it for an exorbitant amount of money. This is what I love about this platform, where it's like you have like the actual blockchain to say, okay, well, you get access into at least putting your name in the hat. You might not get it this time, but then you can use the analytics of seeing how many L's you take to then be able to get access to rewards, instead of just being like, oh, you're just going to get 55 L's in a row because like a bot or whatever like that. So it's just super, it's there's so many parallels between like current sneaker culture and then like the Web3 base, as far as like how people react. And then again, even with drops with releases, I mean, Dre, you're even seeing with the Union drop, right? That the leak just came out. How many people are just shitting on that shoe right now? Like, it's like 80%, but yet that shoe is probably going to be one of the most hyped shoes once it actually releases, and then give it another 4 or 5 months, and it'll probably be selling for like $1,000 because again, it is connected to Chris Union, the story, how they're going to run it out and everything like that. So it's a lot of it's just, you have to prove it in a way where it's like you can have it in front of people and you can scream it out the rooftops, but it's like once it's approved by at least someone or a group or like the masses, then it's like it'll switch, and then everyone will be like, well, I got to hop on this train now. And the people that were collecting it at the very beginning, that were doing it out of the sheer passion. I go back to like the Ben Ballers and the DAJAMs of the world, right? It's like these guys were collecting sneakers way before sneaker culture was a thing, right? And then Ben Baller exits out when it even got like at the very early precipice of it for millions of dollars off of a basic collection that he'd been building out for like 5 years, right? It was because culture finally took notice, and he was able to, you know, take advantage of a collection that he built out of passion, but then the world kind of hopped on from the story that Nike was able to tell with it, and the collaborations that they were able to bring, and the marketing that they were able to put behind all the artists that they were, I mean, from athletes to artists, everything else. So we're just at the precipice, man. Super exciting.
No, that's a fact. There's some excellent points in that joint too, because I'm gonna go reach back and show my age on this one. I've been around to see every Jordan release happen as it's happened, right? Like, of course, in the early '80s, I didn't necessarily even understand what it was. I remember a couple of my homeboys got the Jordan ones, and they were so incredibly hype about it. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, why are we hype about this? And they're like, you understand what this is? This is Jordan 1. This is it. This is the one. He can't even wear these. He getting in trouble. Da, 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 da. And from that point forward, it kind of caught my attention because I could see the energy and the passion that came with it, right? And I'll say that to say this: every Jordan release was fudded. It was before FUD was even a thing, but everybody talked shit about every Jordan model before it ever came out. Every single one. I remember when I was old enough and the Jordan 11s came out, patent leather Jordan 11s, everyone hated them. These shits are trash. What is that? Why would he wear this? So on and so forth. But then it took some time. And then you'll see more and more people wearing it. And then the more and more you see it, it's like that song you hear on the radio. You hate it at first, but you hear it 30 times a day. Before you know it, you pulling up to the house when you pull off of work and you singing and shit as you get out. You know what I'm saying? Same type of situation. People will hate something and FUD it when it first comes out. until the point where they actually start believing in it, liking it, and then pushing it. And that's the same situation we are in now when it comes to this technology, the same situation we are in now when it comes to this type of execution with our Force Ones, the execution that you see with the Season 1 forgeables with the Air Force Ones and the Murakami DNAs here, the Artifact is putting out. It takes people time. If they don't have that innovation in them to be able to see where it can go, to have the next level here, right now in the present, they're gonna fund it in the beginning. And that's what we're dealing with right now. But this precipice that's being set, the standard that's being built, the foundation that's being forecast and built right here in front of our eyes, even with this Nike virtual systems, this dot swoosh situation, they are changing the game. One, because people will not have to wait. They won't have to waste the materials to create these things anymore, right? If you want a shoe, buy the digital collectible, the NFT, right? If you want it in person, forge the NFT so you can get the physical. Wait for them to create that forged shoe for you. It'll be sent to you directly. Then, like the homie Eddie said, you control the inventory when it comes to that. You are one of very low numbers who have this specific shoe in the physical. And then we all know how supply and demand works. The supply is low, the demand is high, the price is out of here if that's what you into. Or you can create it and keep it as art. Yo, I'm for instance, for the crypto kicks in real life, I know there's only 55 space matters. That's a specific colorway that they're releasing for the specific model. There's only 55 in size 14. I wear a size 14. I know I'm one of 54 of the people who have these shoes, and that's it. So when the world catches on and sees what these shoes are and the technology that it holds, Bluetooth capability, being able to buzz when you get around someone else who's a part of the community, the potential to even set it up and link up, possibly to set up and link up with your Tesla to be the key to your car, right? Grant you access to exclusive drops just from walking around in the shoes. Like the technology that's in these joints is going to be next level. But people fund them because they don't understand it. They can't foresee the opportunities that come with this next level type of build. Same situation as here is going on with Dot Swoosh. It's going to be the same situation that we run into in everything that's innovative like this. It's going to be some people out there who just don't rock with it and just don't understand what they're dealing with. And that's just part of the situation. But as long as we know, you are ahead of the curve, just like the people who was out there with Basquiat and he was painting back in the 80s and they could see what was happening and they grabbed that joint and sat on it right until right now. Now they got a multi-million-dollar painting from people who was calling it scribble 20 years ago. So that's how it works. So yeah, Eddie, what's good, bro?
Yeah, but really quick, I mean, one thing that has also worked to our advantage, and by our advantage, I'm saying like everyone in this room, everyone who's like active in Web3, is that I personally don't believe the communication on like Nike's end on how they could forge these shoes. I mean, the marketing, it hasn't been as strong as it could have been. And I think it's only been like, if you know type deal. They haven't posted any Instagram posts. They haven't posted any Twitter posts. Artifact has, but Nike hasn't. My point is, I think a lot of people are unaware they can even purchase the shoe right now. They're totally out of the loop, especially if you're not in Web3 whatsoever. So when these shoes do come out, I mean, I don't think price point is even going to be a thing. I think it's going to be one of those priceless shoes where people are just willing to pay any sort of amount because the people who hold 2 or 3 pairs are going to quickly flip those. And the Takashi Drips only got 4,200, right? 4,200. There's thousands of celebrities out there who will need to own this shoe. Like, I think again, none of us can tell the future, but I don't understand how Takashi Murakami's first ever collaboration with Nike at the age of 60 fucking years old, how this doesn't go on to become like one of those priceless grails. Like the market is absolutely asleep, and I'm glad about it.
That's definitely a fact. And yeah, man. Like I said, if we get into that topic, it's just I will say this. I have a sneaker soapbox that I run every Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time, and that's what we speak about specifically is just this Air Force One foraging event that's happening on May 24th. And then we're going to run that specific sneaker soapbox topic until the last foraging day, just so people can build the awareness. They can understand what they're doing, what they're not doing, how to be a part of it. Understand that it's a different type of drop, right? It won't be similar to how this dot swoosh drop is, where you can utilize your fiat currency. You can use a credit card for dot swoosh. You can pay with different methods than you have to pay for the NFT if you're looking to forge with the artifact forging event. So just being able to have a space where people can have those questions and run them by people who know, and get into it. It's that's the specific point of having that on the every Friday noon Pacific Standard Time. So come through, man. Tell your people. I say this all the time. Tell your mama, tell your cousin, tell your sister, tell your granny, tell anybody that you think would be interested in being a part of this to come through, because I know they're gonna have questions, especially if they haven't dealt with the sector up to a specific point. There are some intricacies that they have to learn how to navigate through in order to participate, but that's what the community is here for, to be able to help with those questions and answers all the time. And again, we do have Bad Take every night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have all types of multiple conversations. That's the whole point of it, calling it Bad Take, to talk about anything you want. And we just now put up the Discord for Bad Take as well. The link is in the bio, or actually it's pinned to the top, and that's open 24/7. So we got a voice chat in there. People jump in there, talk all the time. So you don't have to worry about the people who are overseas and they're talking about they are missing out on Bad Take because we have it so late here on the West Coast. They can jump in there anytime, communicate with the family, communicate with the community, talk about anything you want at any time, and make sure they're part of this thing, to make sure they're getting the information that they're looking for as well. So yeah, man.
Bro, Dre, really quick, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I am smoking a fat blunt, and it sounds like you were very educated on all the artifact shit. I'm just gonna be real. For the for the Takashi drip for this Air Force One forging, there is no additional cost required. I mean, it's done after you purchase the NFT. Am I
No, that's a
incorrect on that?
fact. Worldwide shipping.
That's
You pay
wild,
for your
bro. That's
gas.
fucking
I mean,
wild.
people are sleeping, baby. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
This is a coma. They're in a coma,
Yeah,
brother. They're in
yeah.
a
But like
coma.
you said, man, it's people, if they haven't been introduced to this sector, they don't know what to look for, right? And if there hasn't been a lot of necessarily publications pushing this due to how people have been promoting NFTs thus far, right? We don't get a lot of media coverage. So it's almost like an echo chamber of people who are speaking about the same topics all the time. This is why I'm holding the sneaker soapbox, so people can come through, get their dirty minds clean. You know what I'm saying? Wash off any questions they need to ask. Come through, ask anything, because like you just said, man, they're in a coma, they missing out. And this is a historic event, bro. And it's only gonna happen for a limited time only, from the 24th to the next week. It's only open for so long. So yeah, man. But we want to get as many people as we can a part of this historic moment, just like we're doing here with the dot swoosh release today. SBJ, what's good, bro?
Yo, I had a question, follow up to what Eddie was asking. I mean, I know I asked you guys earlier. So you said, so you get one of those NFTs, you forge the those to get like the physical, like the actual shoes. But what happens to the ones that, like, you, if you don't forge within that time window, what happens to those
You
NFTs?
just got an NFT for life, baby. You holding on to a piece of artwork that you can hold and display
Why?
forever.
Which the sexy part, if y'all are all catching my drift, is the communication on this has been wildly unclear. Let me repeat that. Wildly unclear. So there's 4,200 of these drips. Not to hype anybody up, but I'm obviously hyped. There's 4,200 of these NFTs. You know, a bunch of people are going to be butthurt because they are not going to know to claim. They are not going to claim. So 4,200 is the max amount. How many we get as physicals, nobody
Facts.
knows. Homies, I'm telling you, unslept on alpha.
Facts. I've said this.
And then break down the sizes.
I said that exactly, right? Because that's even more of a tier changer, right? Because there's going to be some people out there who have the NFT who don't claim. That's just how it works here. And depending on what sizes they get, like Johnny said. Like I wear size 14. I can almost guarantee it will be less than 20 pairs total across the board in size 14. Just because of how it breaks down. It's not a lot of Bigfoot motherfuckers walking around like me who are in the space. So it's just,
Some people are weirdos and want that on their trophy
I mean,
board,
that's
bro.
true. That's true. I'm sorry that you call size 14 people weirdos, but I'll let it slide.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm
My
just
bad,
fucking with you. I'm just messing with you. But no, that's true.
bro. Dre, I was at the gym today and I'm talking with my boy, and I'm like, yo, you know about NFTs? He's like, nah, whatever. I show him your page. I'm like, yo, this guy is a. I have to talk about a bad take tonight, but basically, I showed him you, and I'm like, yo, this guy's my guy. You don't even know. He's like, oh damn, dude, I gotta meet him, bro. You're an icon, dude. You don't even know it. You're an
I
icon.
appreciate you, bro. I'm just doing what I can while I'm supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? This is what we all do, right? Like everybody got their thing. This is what I speak about all the time. Like I said, man, I've been a part of this culture of things ever since I was born, bro. So been around to see a lot of it happen. Seen a lot. I've actually been a part of a lot due to being in this culture itself. Curated a lot of communities from the ground up that I still have. Integrated those communities into the music industry. Right. I've been around a lot of circles, man. So I appreciate you saying that, and it's my pleasure to do this, man, because I'm into it just as much as you guys are, and I want to help the people who are here that I know who will enjoy it, because that's the whole point of this. Can't miss out on this, man. The homie Eddie, he getting me hype. I ain't smoking a fat blunt, but I'm getting high off life when it comes to this situation because it's a fact, man. It's too much happening that I think people should be a part of, and I know they're gonna be kicking themselves in the ass when they figure out they missed it, man. That's just how it works. So yeah, we coming up on the top of the hour here. We've been going for about 2 hours. It never seems like it's that long when you're having this much fun. But if there's anybody else who wants to jump up, have any questions or comments about today's release of the Our Force Ones posters, or the upcoming release for the May 24th forging event with the Artifact Air Force Ones, please do. Um, Again, don't forget about the Discord that we have cracking off with Bad Take. Um, on 24 hours a day, we now like an infomercial, bro. Y'all can jump in and speak about anything. My man Bricked Up, what's good?
What's going on, man? I just wanted to pop up, not about the posters or anything. I haven't got mine. You had to claim your dot swoosh name by the 12th of April to be in the running for the posters. I still got like 6 I haven't even used yet. So if anyone wants to buy a dot swoosh little tag, let me know. I'll hook you up. Besides that, I just wanted to say, like, anything that needs done in the Discord within reason, like as long as it's quick and easy, like Vulcan and shit, just hit me up. I'll do it for free, man.
Word, that's what's up. We appreciate you. Hit up the guy Compound. I'm sure he got some ideas.
Yeah, man, Demi was shilling your skills, dude. So I already had you on my list to chat with. So I really appreciate
Yeah,
you. We'll go over some stuff.
yeah,
I got Prez and you both really skilled in the Discord.
yeah.
I think we're
I
set,
might be
man.
able to do a little bit. I mean, I have been making a living off doing Discords for the past 2 years, so I might, I might know a little bit.
It's nothing, is what he said. It's nothing. And he got the access codes for people missed out. But yeah, he hit that on the head. If you didn't have your dot swoosh name minted out or pass minted out before the 12th of April, you missed out on the snapshot that made you eligible to receive the poster that was released today. But do not fret. This is for the release that's going to happen on May 8th. May 8th is a pumped up date, man. It's the last day
Wasn't
for the
it May
Forge.
10th? Oh, it's May 8th.
May 8th
The
is when they actually have the allocation for the next airdrop for the release on May 10th. But May 8th is also the date of the last day for forging, if I'm not mistaken. So
and then May 10th, it's open to the
that's a
public.
fact. May 10th, the dot swoosh general release is open to the public. So what's a lot of
Do we know how many there are
that?
releasing or no?
A total of 106,453 posters. I don't know if that's the allocation number for the posters or for the minting of the boxes alone. I think that's just for the posters, but I'm not sure. Somebody can fact check me on that one.
Yeah, it's just for the posters. The actual boxes, there's going to be. It was in the email. It was like 6,500 and something, and that
Okay.
like it relates to like they try to make it relate to old school. So if you go back to how you had to text message
Yeah.
by hitting a bunch of numbers,
Yeah.
you do the numbers for Nike, and that's how many there's going to be. It's like 6,500 something.
But that's where that comes in, because the 106,543, the 10 of the 106,000, right? The 6543. And hopefully I'm getting that number right. That's what spells out Nike. The 6543. If that's the
I,
number.
I don't know. It might be. You're probably
Yeah.
right.
That's how it works. But it's damn, man. It's crazy because I remember when people had to text like that, when you had to hit the number so many times to get letters out. That was some bullshit. So happy we were away from that. But yeah, appreciate you guys jumping in. Oh, we got Jasmine coming through at the buzzer like a Jordan mid-range jumper over Craig Elo. Jasmine, if you wanted to jump up and speak to the people, that'll be fire. If not, all good, no pressure. We've been having this thing going for about 2 hours now, and I just wanted to make sure that the people had the rest of their day to do whatever they need to do. So cool. We will see you guys again here on Friday. Sneaker Soapbox at noon. Come through. We're gonna speaking about all things dirty, trying to get your mind clean. And yeah, slide through Bad Take, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come through the Bad Take Discord. We got that running all day, like an infomercial. Get all the information you need. I appreciate you guys joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will speak to you soon. I don't have any outgoing music, so I can like hum.